Welcome to Pro Save Mike documentary. Thanks again for watching. And as always, I just thank God for YouTube and for the ability to be heard. So let's get to it. As you can see, the case numbers, I explained to you what the 113A represents. And that's Jeffrey G. Thomas. And he's the court reporter. And so the case number, as I mentioned before, the initials represent unassigned judge dash SPC. So what happened is, as I was exposing them, they flew in a judge, and this judge came in 2 years after the magistrate judge, Sherry Poster Chapel, was using the unassigned judge. There was no judge there. So to try to compensate, they flew in Paul A. Magnusson, as you can see at the bottom. Jeffrey Thomas, Civil Proceedings, Paul Magnusson, and that's a U.S. judge from Minnesota. So the other thing I would like to draw your attention to is this is a Google search, and they sent the records to Naples. As you can see, Untitled Granicus, PDF, Granicus, Naples, Document Viewer. And so the case had never actually, even though I was physically going to the Middle District of Fort Myers, they was not recording the records. All the records I filed, they electronically deleted. You can no longer find the original docket, which that information is in many videos on this page. So they replaced that electronically as though Paul Magnusson overheard the trial. So I'll get back to that just a moment. I would like to insert one fact. This case I'm not relitigating. It had never been litigated in the first place. So let's start here. The UA-SPC. So they state date filed, the date that it was filed, date terminated, 2/13/2012. And it has unassigned judge. Now we know Sherry Postal had been using this case throughout the entire trial. I had 2 dockets. The original docket, this is a fraudulent docket. At this particular time, you see the case number on the Sherry Postal name on the left. Anderson versus City of Naples, assigned to judge, unassigned judge, referred to Judge Sherry Postal. And then it has a different case number. Now, at this time, this docket is in Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. So this constitutes the wire fraud that I spoke of in previous videos. Now, I would like to take you here. And this is the law firm. I like to always identify who is who. James Fox, Russells and Andrews. That's the law firm. The attorney residing in the case was James Donald Fox. Okay? So, let's just go here. And bear with me, I'm just going to speed this up. One other thing I would like to draw your attention to, you see the numbers. What you're looking at here is the date, the document number. And the document number in this should be highlighted in blue, where you see the 10, 11, and while we are here, you see the date 4/6/2010. There's no document number there. There's no document. The marshal never served the summons. And so that's why there's no document number. You see 10, and then you see a date with information. That's called a document entry. But every document entry has to have a number. So I'm going to take you here. Bear with me. Remember, these numbers are not highlighted. That means it's mute. It was, as I explained in previous videos, this docket was created outside of the court. However, I'd like to just take you to 92, 4/4/2011, 92. Denying as mute, 37, motion for summary judgment. That's what I filed. But underneath that, on the following page, it has the plaintiff filed a second amended complaint on March 31st, 2011, signed by Charlene Edward Honeywell. So this is a judge. This is the primary judge. This is the judge whose records they deleted. On 93, you see her name again. So the essence to this is, I can't have Sherry Postal residing and Paul Magnuson. I couldn't have two judges at the same time. Bear with me. 8/16/2011, document number 121 at the top. Amended case management and scheduling order. And as we read through, depositive motion due by 10/6/2011. Pretrial statement due, and it gives the date. All other motions due by 1/3/2012. Final pretrial conference. So I'm just going to skim through that. And it shows you that Judge Charlene Edwards Honeywell, jury trial, set for terms commencing, and it tells you, signed by Charlene Edwards Honeywell. This is the black judge that they refused to practice before. So now I have, according to them, the magistrate judge representing, overseeing the case, Paul Magnuson overseeing the case, and we scroll down some more, or up some more. Now, we have notice of hearing, motion hearing, final pretrial. This is where they flew the judge in. Now I have another judge, and this judge is Paul A. Magnuson. Now, even in the most complex trials, there's only one judge. There's only one judge, and this isn't complex. This is just a civil rights lawsuit that was filed. Nothing complex. Okay? So now we go to 11/17/2011, 125. Trial calendar. And then who do we have? Signed by Judge Paul A. Magnuson. Right? Then underneath document number 125, every entry, all the information is always inserted with a number. That's called a document, and every document has to have a number. Now, if you go underneath that, you see 126, signed by Judge Charlene Edward Honeywell. So we have three judges residing in this case. So we have Charlene, we have the magistrate judge, Sherry Foster Chapel. Then we have Charlene Edwards Honeywell. Then we have Paul A. Magnuson. Then we have 126 again. We have what? Signed by Sherry E. Postal. Once again. So I can't have three different judges residing over a trial. Now, this is where the confirmation of fraud resides. 12/21/2011. You see this entry? It has no document number. And this is where they try to eliminate the judge. They attempted thinking that somehow would be ignorant to what they were doing. Case reassigned to unassigned judge pursuant to that case number, what they have, that doesn't mean anything. New case number, and it has the magistrate. It has a case number, and SPC represents Magistrate Judge Sherry Foster Chapel. Judge Charlene Edwards Honeywell no longer assigned to the case. But there's no document number there. If there's no document number there, there was no entry, there was no action, legal action taken in the case. Now, you see when this was done, at the bottom, very bottom, on the right, the bottom, 4/29/2016, 3:38 p.m. So let's just move right along. It's just so much that convicts them of their criminality. So below 126, you have Charlene Edwards no longer your judge. Okay? Now let's just go down. Now we have 127. So 127, we had 126. 126 stated plaintiff motion for protective order. That was me trying to ask the judge to have them do the right thing. And it was filed. That's what that information would entail. And so when a higher court or any court click on that, they can read the protective order. So we have 126. We have she's no longer my judge, Charlene Edwards Honeywell, but there's no document number. Now we skip down to January 3rd, 2012, document number 127. So you see what they did? They inserted that she was no longer my judge, but not legally, with no legal authority. They just inserted it. And so let's just go here. Once again, they have 141, yes. And it says at the end, filing fees not paid. If filing fees are not paid, the clerk of court is not authorized to forward the record to the appellate court. Okay, so this was going on appeal, and as I showed you at the very top, that it had crossed state lines and it went to Fulton County, Georgia at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. But to try and cover his tracks, he stated filing fees are not paid. Okay, so let's go down and look at 2/15/2012. Transmittal of initial appeal packet. Right? So there, 2/15 2012. There's no document number. It's inserted between 143 and 144. There's no document number. If there's no document number, there's no information, there's no document, there's nothing. But that's for they thought they had the benefit of me being ignorant. So again, you see, everything else has a document number, but that does not. And the few that I showed you. Now let's go to 144. 144 states satisfactory arrangements for paying the cost of transcripts have not been made. Refer to 141. So with that being said, he's not authorized to forward the appeal, and that will clear his hands. But that information is incorrect and it's fraudulent. But let's move on. 145. Now we come back to Paul Magnusson. And as I explained earlier, that Paul Magnusson and Judge Honeywell and Sherry Poster couldn't be the same judge at the same time. So we have that. Now let's go back up just a little bit. Transcript. So we have here the court reporter. You have transcript, pretrial conference held on. There was nothing held on that date. And it was held before Paul A. Magnusson. Court reporter, transcriber, Jeffrey G. Thomas. Now let's just come down a little bit. And where is this guy? So we have Jeffrey G. Thomas, and we have here 6/25/2012, record on appeal sent. So it tells you he sent the record to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, but he did not, because the record wasn't, according to him, wasn't paid for. And so if it's not paid for, it's illegal for him to send the information. And more importantly, it's illegal for a judge to rule on an appeal that wasn't paid for. But that's one issue that I would like to bring to your attention. And anyway, I'll stop right here, but they inserted another, an additional magistrate judge to support their illegal activity. This is the real docket, the actual docket, the official docket. And this one you will never find again electronically, because this was electronically deleted. Now, what I would like to just draw your attention to briefly, as I stated, that the original docket is an electronic docket. So you see here the numbers, the document numbers, they are highlighted in blue. You see? So when you click on those, it actually takes you somewhere. That's what happens when you click on those. It actually takes you somewhere. You see? Highlighted in blue. When you click on that, that's an active record. And what their record showed you was just black and white. So it was not duplicated. It was modified from an outside source and pasted. Pro Se Mike documentary. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Hold up 1 second. Look like it's blurred. Again, the document numbers are highlighted in blue. And so those are electronic records. And that's how the higher court view the record. They view it by clicking on the record. They don't do paper. They don't mail in documents. They don't mail in records. Everything is electronic. So when they see these records that's highlighted, this is what they know how to click on according to the documents that you appeal. And so in my case, it was my responsibility to give a narrative as to what I was appealing. But what they tried to do is give a narrative on my behalf in a prejudicial manner to win the case. It was my appeal. So it's my narrative that I want the judge to look at and not what they want it to be. And as you see, document number 47, motion to stay discovery, signed by who? Magistrate Judge Sherry Postal Chapel. So you have her pretending to be the judge. You have Paul Magnuson pretending to be the judge. And you have the court reporter sending the record to the city of Naples for destruction. So it brings us right back here to where we started with the fraudulent case number sent by Jeffrey G. Thomas, and they have here residing judge Paul A. Magnuson. Here we have Untitled Granicus PDF, Granicus Naples document viewer. This also, I got this information from Google. So I beat them to the punch as they were deleting dockets and documents. I was retrieving them and saving them. Had I not had this information, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on, because the previous information had been deleted electronically, and the only thing that I would have had to stand on was this UA SPC, which is a fraudulent docket. This is Pro Se Mike Documentary. I would like you to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and this can not only just help me, but it can overturn a lot of cases where money was involved, houses was involved, inheritance was involved. It could just overturn everything, because this is fraud upon the court, and the court has, a judge can't just do what they want to do, he or she, but it has what they call a IOP, and the IOP is an internal operating procedures of the court. IOP, internal operating procedure. And so they don't get to do what they want to do because of their prejudices and their disdain, but the court has an internal operating procedure that governs the court, that governs the clerk of court, that governs judges. Again, this is Pro Say Mike documentary. I hope my next videos don't have to be this long. However, it took what it took. I appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share it with your loved ones, share it with people. I understand this video isn't for everyone, but there are some people that I'm sure can appreciate the content of this video. Again, Pro Say Mike documentary. Thanks for watching.